According to the Oxford Dictionary, the technical definition for the word contingency is a future event or circumstance that is possible but cannot be predicted with certainty. In real estate, contingencies are clauses put into the offer of a purchase of a home that assure certain measures are met to assure to the buyer that the home is in decent condition without having to worry about costly repairs or updates. Making the offer contingent upon passing the home inspection is probably one of the most common and acceptable contingencies known. Pest and wood destroying pest inspections usually require an inspector to confirm that there are no termites, rodents, bats, ants, and other critters around. This should include pests of all types because critters like squirrels, mice, and other animals can cause major damage to your home's electrical wiring, insulation, and other items that can actually put you and your family in danger. Asbestos is another product known to cause cancer and other issues with breathing and respiration, but basically when opened and brought out into the air during remodeling or repairing. In some cases, asbestos siding has been covered by other types of siding, which may or may not be legal depending upon the laws of the state you're in and even federal laws. In most cases, if asbestos is a part of the home in any way, you should consider requiring it to be removed or to be assured that it does not pose any harm to you, your family, or your surroundings. If a home is not connected to a city or local water supply and sewage, you should make your purchase contingent upon the testing of not only the water well, but the sewage tank and pipes. Having to repair these areas can be extremely costly. If you do have local water and sewage, you may request line inspections that go out to the common area where you are no longer liable for the cost of repairing, especially if your home is located in an older neighborhood that probably hasn't had sewage and water lines updated for many years. Assuring that the roof on your potential home is one that is not in need of repairs or won't need repairs for at least a reasonable amount of time is probably one of the smartest things you can do. Many home inspections simply do not cover true roof inspections, meaning the inspector will not go out onto the roof and assure that the roof is safe and not in need of repairs. In this case, you should call a professional roofer for a formal inspection. This is definitely an inspection worth paying a few hundred extra for unless the homeowner can show proof of when they had the roof installed or repaired. Mold and fungus inspections are also important. Again, an issue with respiratory illness and complications, the existence of mold can be very detrimental to anyone living in a home. It can also be a sign of some type of water leak, whether it be from the roof or from the basement and or foundation. Remember, not all mold is viewable and can be hiding under a paint job that was done after a repair. Mold can hide in the walls and other areas of the home that aren't very visible. A preliminary title report assures that the title of the home is clear of any monetary liens against the property and discloses any easements and CC&Rs which can cause issues when it's time to do a title transfer. There is something called a title policy that can be ordered to cover this area for you and assure you don't get stuck with any extra problems at the end of the title transfer. Radon gas is known to cause cancer and can be prominent in particular areas. Some states require radon testing before a house can be sold. Statutory disclosures. Many states actually require sellers to disclose all and any known facts about the home regarding hazardous materials, natural hazardous conditions, special taxes, and other costs or issues covered under the seller statutory disclosure. The previous contingencies that we just covered dealt with the condition of the home, but there are other contingencies that deal with other issues. These contingencies are generally dependent upon everything that relates to the ability to move into the home, financing the home, and general contingencies of money. There are some common conditions of finance contingencies, including appraisal. Your lender will want the house officially appraised and want to be assured that they are not paying too much for the home in respect to its market value and the amount of money that they are going to be lending to you. Obtaining a loan is another common condition. While it's definitely recommended that you get a pre-approval, many things may have happened in the time between your pre-approval and the time you are putting in the offer to purchase. There are many factors that may have changed that could change their feelings about lending you the funds. So while you may have a pre-approval, you don't have a guarantee that you can obtain a loan for the house. If you currently own a home, the last thing you want to do is to have to worry about making 2 mortgage payments. Making the offer contingent upon you selling your home may or may not be acceptable to the seller depending upon how many offers they have sitting in front of them. Generally, the seller will require a reasonable length of time for this to occur, and once that length of time is over, the buyer has the option of buying the house while still owning the home they have or backing out. Homeowner association disclosures. Basically, this applies to homes that are purchased in certain neighborhoods that have a homeowners association that requires monthly or annual fees and has set rules for all who live in the area. Basically, contingencies are a way of assuring that you get a safe and fair deal on a home and that you don't feel like you're being robbed or taken advantage of. Most of the time, the first set of contingencies are generally no issue with the seller because, first of all, the buyer pays for all these inspections, and secondly, their home should be in decent condition if they're presenting it as such. The condition of home contingencies can also usually be negotiated between the seller and buyer. Contingencies on things that deal with the ability to get funding or based upon the time of when you take ownership of the home may or may not be dealt with brokers with some sellers. These types of contingencies often depend on the current market conditions, the number of buyers that have shown interest, and even if they have other buyers putting in an offer to purchase. Again, follow the guidance of your agent as to what contingencies are worth putting into your offer to purchase.